What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the CrownHoops Podcast. We're into episode number 34 now. My name is Jordan Daly. With me, as always, I got Mike White, Stacey Collier, and Ben Okazawa. Say what's up, guys.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on, guys? Stay safe.
Yeah, right? Coronavirus.
Right.
Speaking of that.
Stay inside.
Yeah, this is nuts. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't left my house in like 2.5 weeks now. And I'm going out of my mind.
Wait,
Have you guys ventured out at all?
Just to the
walk.
store and back. I
Yeah.
haven't been nowhere really. I've been working from home, everything.
Yeah. It's insane.
Walk my dog. That's it.
I'm going out of my mind, guys. I need to do something. Tomorrow, that's my thing. I'm leaving the house. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I just need to go drive or something. I need to get out of this house. It's driving me crazy. But anyway, yeah, coronavirus, NBA is canceled. We sat here for 45 minutes trying to figure out what we were going to talk about tonight just because there's literally nothing going on in the world aside from coronavirus. But the whole point of this is to not talk about that. So we'll have better things to talk about. Kind of start off the episode. We'll take a look. Obviously, NBA season not going on right now. It's kind of unsure what's going to happen next. But one thing that's going to happen eventually, we just don't know when because we don't know the order yet, is the 2020 NBA draft. So I guess we'll kind of start off the episode there. It's an interesting draft class this year. I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people say, it's a stacked draft class. I've heard people say it's a terrible draft class. In my opinion, it's not a good draft class, but I guess we can start with, who are some of the top 5 guys that you see going in this year's draft, and who are some sleeper picks that you guys think may fall down the draft board that could either have an impact or have really great potential to turn out to be something great. So we'll start with that top 5. Mike, we'll start with you. Who's your top 5 in the 2020 draft class?
So for next year, my top 5, I got Obi Toppin, 6'9", power forward.
You have him going 1?
No. This is just who I think is the best overall prospect.
Okay.
He might not go number 1. It depends on the team and what they need. But he's right around that size of 6'9". He could do it all. He can guard multiple positions. He's aggressive attacking the rim. I think he'll translate well over to the NBA. Then I got LaMelo Ball. I'm a big fan. 6'7". One of the best passers in the league. Can create for others. Can get assists. Can score. We've known that. We've seen him basically grow up since, the Ball brothers have been in the spotlight. And he's become a great player since he's, gotten some height and he's gotten away from the way he used to play. So he looks to be good. So I think he'll come in right away and help a team instantly. He'll have to work on defense, but offensively, I think he's already set. After him, I had Anthony Edwards, combo guard, probably the best scorer in the draft. That's what we need in the NBA. Everything is about offense around most of these teams, so you need someone who can get hot, who can give you buckets. That's what teams like my Lakers were still looking for somebody off the bench. So I think Anthony Edwards is good there. Then I have James Wiseman, 7'1" center. We didn't get to see much of him, as you know. He left Memphis, a whole lot of controversy with that. But you can't teach size. 7'1", skill, can get rebounds, can protect the rim, can rim run, can protect. I like James Wiseman up there. Okay, so for my last guy, I got Cole Anthony out of UNC, Greg Anthony's son. I think he can help a team right away, a nice point guard. He's aggressive. He gets to the rim. He can shoot from the outside. He'll dunk on you if he comes down the lane like that. I think he's the 5th best prospect. I know a lot of people don't have him going that high, but honestly, I'm just a fan. I've seen what he could do on the court, and I think he's the 5th best prospect out of 2020 draft class.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I know you just said kind of no specific order there. The past couple drafts, there's been a consensus on who the number 1 pick was going to be. Last year, it was very obviously Zion Williamson. Do you think that's the case this year, or do you really think it depends on, what team lands where and specific team needs?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's what team lands where and what they need for that team that lands. So, no one is out of this draft class, even though there's some great prospects at the top, no one has taken the reins all the way out. Okay, consensus, number one. I mean, there's weaknesses with all these guys. There's things they clearly need to work on. No one's really blowing you away. Like we were just looking at, I think it was the R.J. Hampton stats, or no, it was the international guy. I think he was talking about, Ben. No one's really blowing you away stat-wise. It's all kind of base. It looks like off potential right now. Size, skills. They see 6'9", 6'8", 6'7" guys who can move the ball. It really is going to depend on which team lands where. Like the Warriors, are they really going to go for LaMelo Ball? Probably not. Are they going to go from James Wiseman? Maybe. Are they going to trade the pick? We just don't know these things. So I don't think no one stands out like Zion did. I think it's really just going to depend on what team is picking.
It definitely scares me this year. I feel like it has the Anthony Bennett written all over it. Like who's gonna be the first pick? And
don't do that. Someone knock on wood right now.
I just hope it doesn't have Buster Downshire written all over it. That's all I'm saying. Because there is no clear consensus like top guy, which is kind of scary to me. I wouldn't want to have the number one pick in this draft. There's way too much pressure on that. But moving on from your top 5 guys, who are some of your sleepers that maybe aren't getting a ton of attention, but maybe late first, early second, late second? Who are some guys that you think may be able to contribute right away?
Okay, so my first one is Cassius Winston out of Michigan State, 4-year guy there. He's a proven point guard on the college level. He looks like a guy who could be a solid pro going on. Is he athletic, crazy, and wow you away? No, but he shoots. I think it was about 41 or 42% from 3. He can run an offense. He's a leader. These are the type of things that some of these teams that are going to be picking down at that late 20 range, early second round, these are already teams that are in the playoffs. So they're going to be looking for guys who can come in and play a certain role. That's why I think he'll fit in. He might be a little bit better than we think. Another guy, Trey Jones out of Duke. Not a crazy scorer like that. Not flashy, but he's solid. He plays defense. He sets up teams kind of like the same thing I said with the Winston's kid. He really knows what he's doing out there. He's kind of like a floor general, if you will. So those are 2 guys I think if they land in the right situation, they can make an impact right away.
Okay. All right, Stacey, we'll move on to you now. Who are your top 5 guys in this draft? We'll start there.
All right, my top 5 guys. Number 1, I think he's clearly the number 1 prospect in this draft. By default, kind of Anthony Edwards out of Georgia. I really like his game. Very polished on offense. He still got work to do, but I like him number 1 overall. Number 2 is James Wiseman. Now, I know we all got only a small sample size out of him, but when he was on that floor for Memphis, he was effective. He changed the game. And this is very telling of the draft class that I consider James Wiseman number 2 overall. And he only played like 12 games in Memphis.
Yeah.
So, that's very telling. Number 3, I like Cole Anthony. I like his game. I believe he was injured or something at some point, and he missed a few games or whatever. And when he came back, he put on a show, and that's the type of player that I would want on my team. And number 4, I got LaMelo Ball. Offensively, very gifted player. Still got to work on his defense, but I'll take LaMelo Ball. I think he's very talented. And number 5, I still believe R.J. Hampton will find his way in the NBA. Now, I know he slipped on everybody's draft board because of injury and ineffectiveness, but he's a talent. He's a talent, and I think he'll shine in the NBA. I think he got something to prove. As far as my sleeper players, number 1, I have Tyrese Maxey out of Kentucky. The thing about Kentucky the last few years, none of their players stand out in college, but they are consummate professionals and they are ready for the pro level. Look at Tyler Harrow this past season. He wasn't a standout player in college, but he was ready. And when he got his time with the Miami Heat, he put on the show. He's shooting lights out. So I think he'll develop over time. And my second player is Vernon Carey out of Duke. I'm real surprised that he's down on the draft boards in the 20s range, 20s, late round range. And he's a fantastic big man. He put up stats, had Duke winning. So those are my 2 sleepers right there.
Okay. So obviously you brought up R.J. Hampton. Are you worried about his past injuries at all? Do you think teams will kind of just overlook that?
I think teams will worry about the injuries. I think he's going to fall a little bit on the draft board, but somebody going to pick him up. Somebody going to take a chance on him. Like I said, sometimes talent trumps all, and you rather would have that talent and that potential than not. So I think he'll slip, but he'll eventually get picked up in that 10, 15.
Okay. Ben, moving on to you now. Who are your top 5 guys for this draft?
So for me, just going in order, I think James Wiseman still has a good chance to be picked at 1, just because it all depends. Because past couple of years we've had, surefire number 1 picks. Like regardless of your positional needs as a team, you got to pick Zion. That's how it felt with Markelle. It's not really how it turned out. But just guys like that, like surefire, you have to pick this guy regardless of, what you need as far as like if you need a center, if you need a point guard, whatever. I think this year it's going to be more like we've been talking about based on, what each team needs. There's no guy that's like that. You have to pick him at 1. And if the Golden State Warriors get the number 1 pick, which is what most people are projecting, they haven't had a good, strong, solid starting center in their entire dynasty. They had, Andrew Bynum for a couple years. They had Zaza Pachulia, JaVale go in and out of the, rotation. And that was kind of their only position where they were a little bit weak at over the years. So I think picking a guy like James Wiseman, 7'1", good size, skilled, center, I think that would be probably good for the Warriors if they get that number 1 pick. But a lot of people are saying, they need guard depth because they don't have a whole lot of that right now. They traded D'Angelo Russell, Quinn Cook signed away. So right now they've obviously got Steph and Clay, 2 of the best guards in the league. But behind that on their bench, they don't have as much depth as they have had in past seasons. So even if they pick someone like Anthony Edwards or LaMelo Ball, I wouldn't be shocked. But I'm expecting them to pick James Wiseman. And then after James Wiseman, I think LaMelo Ball would be a good fit with pretty much any team. 6'7" point guard is kind of undeniable. Like Mike was talking about, the passing talent that he has is really impressive. His court vision is really impressive. And, people are a little bit worried about his 3-point shooting efficiency, but that'll be something that gets stepped up in the right team, right fit with the organization. See what coaches he gets. But I think that 6'7" point guard size and that court vision is kind of hard to pass up. So I'm expecting LaMelo Ball to go at 2. I got Anthony Edwards going at 3. He kind of stunk it up from beyond the arc this season, but he's really explosive point guard, shooting guard, point guard type player. Averaged some around 19 points this season. Kind of reminded me of like Derrick Rose, young D Rose, just in his explosiveness as a guard, or even like a Victor Oladipo or something like that. So I'm expecting him to go at 3. At 4, I think I would have to go with Obi Toppin. Like both you guys, everyone talked about 20 points, just about 8 rebounds, and he was shooting 63% from the floor. It's really impressive. He's still young. That was just his sophomore season. He's 6'9", 220, something like that. It's hard to pass up a guy with that much talent. And he kind of blew up this year. He was the AP Player of the Year for college basketball. And I think his draft stock really rose a lot this season, and I'm expecting him to go at 4. Then at 5, the Israeli national, Deni Avdija. I really hope I said your name right. But I doubt it. He didn't do too well. We were looking at his stats before in the EuroLeague. He was playing with Maccabi. He didn't really play that well. He was like 4 points per game in 14 minutes, something like that. But with his national team, he had a lot more opportunity. They beat the Spanish under-20 national team, and he was up like 20 point, 7 assist type numbers in that national setting. So I'm expecting teams, and he's like 6'8" forward, can do it all. So I'm expecting him to go at 5. And then as far as my sleepers, someone touched on Vernon Carey Jr., 18 points, 9 rebounds per game, 38% from beyond the arc. Even though he wasn't shooting at the highest volume, he is really low. Like I think as Stacey was pointing out, he is really, really low for someone who's putting up those kinds of numbers. So it's kind of surprising for me. Mike touched on Trey Jones, I think he's an NBA ready point guard. He came in with that Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, Zion Williamson class. So I think he'll be good for whoever takes him. And then the last one is Onyeka Okongwu, Big O. He played with LaMelo. He played with the Ball brothers in Chino Hills. And he kind of took over. He was really dominant for USC this season. He was putting up like 16 points, 8.6 rebounds per game. And like I said, he was one of the most dominant centers in the league. So I'm expecting him to go right outside the top 5, definitely within the top 10.
Okay. I'll try to keep mine short just because every single name I'm about to say has already been said already. But assuming everything's perfect and everything fits position-wise, my number one prospect this year is James Wiseman. I have a strong feeling number one will fall to Golden State, and like Ben said, that would be a really good position fit for them, assuming they keep the pick. They have a lot of options with that, but I feel like Wiseman will be a good fit there as well, just because they do really lack height. They don't have much. Going in at number 2, I do have Anthony Edwards out of Georgia. 3, I had Obi Toppin. 4, I had LaMelo Ball. And 5, I had Cole Anthony out of North Carolina. I'm not sure if anyone touched on him. But, yeah, that was my top 5. For sleepers, I had the same exact as you, Mike. I had Trey Jones and Cassius Winston. Trey Jones is probably one of the better defenders, and like Ben said, NBA ready. Cassius Winston, in my opinion, is probably the most NBA ready out of this draft class. He's played for 4 years. He has all that experience over, a freshman, a sophomore just entering the draft. And he's been through a lot. He's a very good leader. He lost his brother a couple years ago. Yeah, I think he's going to have a good career in the NBA. So I think whoever gets him is going to be extremely lucky. A name that I did want to bring up, I think we talked about him a little bit before we started recording. He just declared for the draft today. His name is Mac McClung out of Georgetown. I just feel like, I don't know how much you guys know about him, but I just feel like I needed to throw that out there. I don't think he's ready for the NBA yet. He just finished his sophomore year, or he's finishing his sophomore year. He's shooting just under 16 points, 3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, shooting the ball at 39%. People that are on social media all the time have seen this guy for, some of the crazy dunks and ball handling things. I see Slam post about him all the time. More street ball, if anything, nothing you'd really pull off in an NBA game. I was kind of surprised to see him declare I really don't think he's ready. Do you guys know anything about him? Have you guys thought about that at all?
I've seen his videos too on YouTube. Athletic young guard. I kind of agree with you. I don't think he's ready yet. I think he needs to wait a little bit, refine his game, get his jump shot a little bit more consistent. But I mean, hey, if you think you're ready, you're ready. As we can see with what's going on right now in the NBA and how quick it gets shut down, you never know what tomorrow's going to hold. So hey, if he believes in himself, then go ahead and we'll see what he does from there.
Fair. I mean, I feel like he could benefit for a few more years from college.
Yeah.
Even that, maybe go international if he wants to go pro, if he wants to start making money. I don't really know what his situation is, but I just don't think he's ready for the NBA just yet.
Yeah, well, like me personally, I've seen all of his videos from high school and college and stuff like that. And it's always that kind of narrative that I think because that made him so popular is that kind of white boy throws down crazy dunk type, that kind of discourse around him, which made him really popular on social media. Same thing around Nico Mannion and guys like that. But for him, I don't think he believes in himself that much. Not saying he doesn't believe himself, but I don't think he's really expecting to be drafted because he's keeping his eligibility, not hiring an agent, anything like that. So I think this could for him just be something like exploring the process and just kind of getting in contact with teams and working out and seeing where he stands. And then most likely I'm expecting him to go back for a junior season at Georgetown.
Yeah, he gonna go back. I agree.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to. I mean, I really don't see any NBA team taking that risk just yet. Yeah, he still has a while to go. I really don't think he's ready just yet. All right, transitioning on from the 2020 draft class, we're reaching for topics here. So the BIG3 just announced that they are partnering with the reality TV show company that runs the show Big Brother, that they're planning a quarantine-based reality TV show / basketball tournament, and that's how they described it. Reading the article, it's basically saying that they're going to get a bunch of players from the Big Three, and even Paul Pierce expressed interest in joining, into a house with a basketball court built into it, an indoor basketball court, which apparently they have started construction on. And the show is going to be, them living their lives in that house, and then like basketball tournaments and basketball challenges within. And it's all going to be like live camera all the time, just like the show Big Brother, if you've never seen that. So basically cameras running all the time. There's no real privacy. And they're free to leave whenever they want, but once they leave that quarantine, they're out of the show for good, and they don't win the money. And apparently the winner gets a 7-figure prize, which is a ton of money. And apparently the runner-up also gets a cash prize, but they didn't specify that yet. I was also reading that they're planning on bringing some female basketball players into it as well. So right now it just seems like they have a lot going on, and they don't really have too much detail that they want to give out to the public yet. But, it's interesting enough for us to talk about tonight. Ben, we'll start with you first. What's your thought on this?
It's kind of exciting, man. I think it's a cool way for people to be able to take their minds off this whole situation. Obviously, there's some real personalities in the Big Three, so if you can get guys like Brian Scalabrine in that house.
Yes.
That would be cool. Man, just all of these guys who are playing in the Big Three, getting them in a house together, I think that would be a lot of fun. It's like a cool concept. They're doing obviously they're 3v3 teams, right?
So that's the thing. That's what the Big Three is. Big Three is 3v3, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's specified that there's one winner. So I really don't understand how that's gonna work.
Interesting.
Like I said, there's not too much information on it.
Yeah, which is weird because the article that I was looking at said they were looking at premiere in May, which it's coming up kind of soon for them to not have that many details.
Yeah.
But
You think they'd advertise about it already?
Yeah.
I think this article was released the 27th of March.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not gonna be doing too much in May, probably, chances are, so I'm
let me
looking
ask
forward
you
to
this.
it.
I don't know your knowledge on the Big Three, but who's your favorite to win if it's anyone you know?
Oh man, whatever team Joe Johnson plays for. I don't know. I watched the Big Three. I don't really know what the teams' names are or anything like that, though.
They have some wild names. There's the Dragons and something like that. I've never actually watched a full game. I've seen highlights. So
yeah, highlights.
Killer threes, power. I've seen some of it. Yeah.
Okay, so we got a Big Three fan in the house.
I've seen some of it.
I love the Big Three, man.
All right, Mike, we'll move on to you then. What's your thought on this whole show?
Since there's no NBA, I'm with it. I like it. The fact that you can get a guy like Steven Jackson in the house, in a confessional room, just talking mad shit. Can you just imagine the confessional rooms, how it's gonna be with guys like Steven Jackson and Nate Robinson and Glenn Big Baby Davis?
Yeah.
I'm kind of with it. I want to see how it happens. I'm interested to see how they pair up the teams because they said they're adding. You said they're adding female basketball players, so that's good too.
Yeah, it's in consideration.
Yeah, so I'm interested in seeing it. I'm all for it. Corey Maggette out there, Katino Mobley. It's a lot of good guys still available. A lot of good players. I'm ready. Let's see Kwame Brown get back in action. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see it. So yeah, I'm down for it. I can't wait to see it. If I had to pick a team to win it or a player that I think is going to take it all the way, it's between Joe Johnson and Corey Maggette. It's tough. I'm going to go Maggette, though. I'm going to go Corey Maggette.
Okay. My question to you is, how many fights break out during the filming of this show?
That's the crazy thing. I don't know. Because you already know the trash talking is not going to end. It's just as soon as you get off the court, I'm following you up to your room and I'm letting you know what just happened. It's not going to end. So it could be a lot. It could be a lot.
So let me ask you this. Obviously, fights are definitely going to break out. Who's your favorite to win those fights?
I'm going to go with Steven Jackson. He's ready. He's ready. You saw him at the Palace, all right? Just go back and look at that. I'm going to go with Steven Jackson.
Okay. Stacey, moving on to you. This whole crazy show idea, obviously they've done it with more of a regular cast, but now we got NBA past NBA players, basketball players that are trying to make a name for themselves. Some of them are trying to get back into the NBA. What's your thought on this?
I like it. I can't wait to see it. Just to see those play. I watched a little bit of the big three. I seen Joe Johnson at work. I seen Corey Maggette at work, who was like the MVP of the big three when I was watching. And they can still ball out. Did you say Paul Pierce was trying to join in on?
He was thinking about it. Yeah, Kendrick Perkins was actually giving him crap the other day on live TV about it for even considering it.
Put him in there. I want to see Paul Pierce in there. I want to see him go up against Corey Maggette. I want to see him go up against Joe Johnson and Steven Jackson and all them. I want to see that. No, I like to touch, including the female basketball players. I don't know who exactly they going to pull in, but of course it's going to be one of the top female players during her time. So I want to see that. I want to see competitive basketball. I want to see some one-on-one games.
What I want to see is for somehow them to get J.R. Smith in that house. I think that would be so much fun.
That would be so good, man. J.R., how censored is this show going to be? That's what I want.
It's going to be like beep noises. A good 40% of the show. Like, you know what's going to happen.
J.R. is not going to be able to go however long they're in that house without getting super, super high, I don't think.
They need Charles Oakley in there, too. They need him in there, too.
This is my thought. I feel like Big Brother did like a celebrity edition in the U.S. a couple years ago, and I'm pretty sure they had an old basketball player on it. I'm really blanking on the name right now. I can't remember who, but I'm pretty sure he left after the first week. He was just like, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to deal with this. Like, I have money. Like, I don't need this. So, like, that's another thought that I had going into it, too. But it would be cool if they could find a way to, like, take the guys in the big three that are trying to go back into the NBA. Because obviously you have two different groups of guys in the big three. You have the one that, been there, done that in the NBA. They're in the big three for fun, just to play basketball. And then there's the group of guys that, maybe trying to fight for a spot on an NBA roster. It'd be interesting to see if they could get the group of guys that are trying to get back into the NBA and make the prize like a 10-day contract to see if they can fight their way back onto an NBA team. That'd be cutthroat. That'd be so fun to see.
That's interesting, yeah.
I also want to see all the NBA legends in a reality TV show together. It's just like a regular Big Brother with NBA legends. They're like Shaq and all of them going at it nonstop. I think that would be hysterical. Just the constant bickering and shit talk going on. That's a show I want to watch right there. But yeah, I definitely think that's going to be an interesting show for sure. My question is if they can pull it off by May. Saying that it's the end of March and we haven't seen a single ad about it, I'm very skeptical. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be watching that for sure when it comes out. But we'll move on from that and we'll kind of keep you guys updated on this because this is interesting. So if we find anything else out, we'll bring it up on next week's. But moving on, we'll go back to kind of college. I guess that's what we were talking about with the NBA draft. Who are some of your top college players that just really didn't end up playing well in the NBA? And we'll start with you this time, Mike.
Okay, so for my list, I think one guy that you immediately have to bring up, Greg Oden. People were talking about him as the next. He was supposed to be the next big man, dominant. And when you get picked over KD, you're supposed to be somebody. You're supposed to be somebody. Unfortunately for Oden, I hope I see him in Big 3. But it didn't work out in the NBA. Injuries caught up to him. Another guy I had down is Darko Milicic. I mean, he never averaged more than 8 points in his entire career. Now imagine Melo went to the Detroit Pistons. Don't worry about defense. He ain't got to worry about that. All he got to do is shoot on that team. He had defenders all around him. Who knows what kind of dynasty that may have become if they would have drafted him. So that's something I think about. And then Hasheem Thabeet. Drafted before James Harden, drafted before Steph Curry, another one of these big guys, one of these 7'3" guys that they thought was going to pan out and ultimately ended up doing nothing. So those are my 3 biggest busts.
Okay. Stacey, what about you? Who are your biggest busts?
Before I start, how you going to do Greg Oden like that? You
can't I had to do it.
Like
I didn't want to do him like that. I didn't want to do him like that. But you went before KD. It's tough.
Yeah, but it was just unfortunate for him. But I got 4 players. I Adam Morrison. He was one of the top college players. Gonzaga picked number 3 overall. That was Michael Jordan's boy right there. And fell flat in about a couple years' time. So I got him, Jimmy Fredette. Before it was Steph Curry, there was Jimmy Fredette shooting crazy from 3. Scoring. All his scores were like 3 points from what I seen. And he was supposed to be that next shooter, transcending the NBA. Didn't do that at all. So got Jimmy Fredette. Couple names, throwback, Mateen Cleaves. Had a great career at Michigan State, won a national championship. Just didn't translate to the NBA game, unfortunately. And also Ed O'Bannon from UCLA. Had a fantastic senior year, over 20 points per game, won the player of the year. And in 2 years, he went from the top player to nothing at all and just fell off the face of the basketball world. So those are my players right there.
Okay. Ben, what about you?
So yeah, first, I don't want to say Greg Oden, but he was supposed to be. That was right when I was getting into college basketball.
Come on.
I'm sorry. I feel bad, but I guess it kind of counts, no? I don't know what role injuries play in our consideration here, but if they do count, I also got to say Jay Williams. He was ridiculous. For it was Duke, and I think 2001, 2002, something like that. And then once he got into the league, he was just like ravaged by knee injuries, and then he was gone before he was able to have like a real career, which is, I think, too bad.
He got in that motorcycle accident.
Yeah, there was that motorcycle accident.
Yeah, it's really bad. But he's been ESPN analyst now. He's like doing well for himself, so that's good. And then I gotta go Okafor, who's taken, I think, 2015, something like that.
A Mecca.
He was supposed to be real good, and then I don't know what happened to him. I don't know where he is now. But I think he's trying to make a comeback. I don't know how that's going for him, but. And then Hashim to beat Anthony Bennett, guys like that who never panned out to their potential.
What potential did Anthony Bennett ever have, though? Let's be honest.
He was okay. He was taking number 1. He's got to be a bust.
True. All right, so I'll start my first one off. Copying Stacey out of the Shanghai Sharks. We got Jameer Fredette. That dude was insane when he played. Number 2, I had Christian Laettner. I was surprised no one else brought him up. At least I don't think anyone did. Out of Duke.
Good.
Not really pro though.
I mean, he started off solid.
Yeah, but his career didn't really, his career did not last.
He played
how good he was in college compared to how his career turned out to be.
He played like 13 seasons in the NBA, All-Star.
He came in the league. He came in the league with Jordan. It's okay.
I think he compared to his college career.
Right, I get it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
Okay. Get better than Okafor.
I was gonna say if you think that was like a hot take, my number 3 is Michael Beasley. He had a long, tenuous career in the NBA. I think he just finished last year. My reason for that is I don't know if you guys know a lot about that draft, the 2008 NBA draft. Derrick Rose ended up getting picked first by Chicago, but there was a long period of time where it was either Beasley or Derrick Rose, and the fact that you take Derrick Rose's injury aside, where would he be today? He'd probably be like a top 10 NBA player, in my opinion. He'd probably be like a top 10 NBA player of all time. I would venture to say he'd be in the top 10 if he never got hurt.
If he never got hurt,
I can't say that. I can't say top 10, but he would be definitely.
I would say
for like best of all time.
It's very possible he'd be top 30. Because, I mean, Westbrook's up there if you really want to look at it. If Westbrook's up there, I think D. Rose could have maybe mirrored that or been better than that. He already had the MVP, a young one. So, I mean, I would go like top 30. Just guessing. Okay. Guessing. I don't know. Guessing.
I don't know, but like I love Derrick Rose, so I guess I'm biased towards that. But the fact that they were even debating between the two, and Michael Beasley had a pretty good career in college, but pro, he had a long season. I think that was 1 year where he did really, really well. But other than that, he was pretty much just a perennial role player. He didn't really turn out to be anything special like everyone thought he was going to be. So kind of an unconventional pick for that, but that would be my third. But yeah, definitely interesting. Close it out. We got 2 mystery things to end the episode. First off, we're going to start with the mystery player debate. We've done these before, but if you missed that episode, basically, I looked up 2 players on Basketball Reference. I'm going to read off stats and answer some questions for these guys, and they're going to have to figure out who they want, and they're going to try to guess who they are, if possible. And I usually try to keep it so they're the same position, so you kind of have a similar feel for what you're getting here. So these players are both power forwards. Mystery player A has 33 minutes a game, 14.4 points, 7.6 rebounds, 3.7 assists, 43.3% from the field, and 30.1% from deep. Mystery player B, also a power forward, as I mentioned, playing in much less minutes at 21.7 minutes a game, 12 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 62.3% from the field, and 40.4% from deep. I'll let you guys do your thing.
For the first person, what was his field goal percentage? You kind of cut out.
43.3% from the field, and then it was 30.1 from deep.
33 minutes.
Wow. Player B is ridiculously efficient.
Yeah, I'll say I'll take player B over A because of the efficiency.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take player B as well because he's doing it. Man, 40% from deep as a power forward.
How many threes is he shooting the game?
That's a good question. But then also 62% from the field as well. For 12 points, and he's doing it in like 12 less minutes.
Yeah.
So this person is taking 1 3 a game.
That takes away from that stat, but that's still like, and 62% from the field. Oh man.
He's
blocks.
taking about.
I need to know blocks.
Player B is 0.8. I think player A was the same. Let me check that right now.
So they're not rim protectors, so they're scoring power forwards.
Player A is 0.6, player B is 0.8.
Okay. And what were their rebounds again?
They should be right on the document. I believe player A, 7.6 rebounds, player B, 5.8 rebounds.
Let's look at this doc.
You guys have any guesses for who they may be?
When you said 33 minutes, 14 points, I was thinking those are like kind of close to Bam Adebayo type stats.
Yeah,
But
I think Adebayo is scoring higher though.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think he's scoring like 16, something like that. Man.
Is Derek Favors one of these guys?
No.
It's not? Okay.
No. I have 2 hints that I'm ready to give to you guys. I have 2 hints that I'm ready to give to you guys.
All right, let's hear it.
Let's hear the hints.
Player B is a rookie.
Oh.
I feel like that really narrows it down. Rookie power forward, eh?
The second hint is that they're both in the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
Rookie power forward of the Eastern Conference.
Is player B Roy Hachimura?
No.
Ooh, that was a good guess though. That was a
good guess.
Before you guys guess who they are though, I'm curious. Who would you take out of these?
I would take B. Yeah, I would take B.
B.
Yeah.
Mike, what about you?
I don't know. I'm difficult.
I'll also tell you this. Player A has been in the league for 6 years. He's in his 6th season.
He's in his 6th season.
6 seasons, still shooting 43%.
I'm going to go player B.
Okay. Any guesses on who the 2 of them are?
Eastern Conference. Conference.
Both of them in the East.
Hold on, don't tell me yet.
I bet, man, Rui was a good guess though.
That was a great guess.
Yeah.
Oh, is player B PJ Washington?
No.
That was another good guess.
I'm glad you said it.
It's one of the players. Player B is Christian Wood, isn't it?
No. I'll give another hint. Ben,
Man, Christian Wood has been tearing it up lately though.
Yeah.
Ben, player B is from your country.
He's from Canada. He's a Canadian rookie in the Eastern Conference, power forward, averaging that many points. What? Man, see,
I'm going through.
if Memphis was in the East, I would be guessing Brandon Clark right here.
First guess. Brandon Clark. See, I thought one of them was Brandon Clark a long time ago, but you said East.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Clark with the
Grizzlies. I screwed
Grizzlies.
that up real bad.
Oh,
Player
man.
B is Brandon Clark. Wow.
The minutes made sense because Jaren Jackson, I'm sure, takes up some of those minutes. So his minutes.
Oh my God, I'm so stupid. Oh, it's been a long day, guys. Oh my
Player
God.
B is Brandon Clark, so.
Player A is definitely in the East. That I'm.
East
Wow.
in the league. Man.
Oh, wow, that was a stupid moment.
33
So player A
minutes.
is definitely in the East.
Player A is definitely in the East, 100%.
Okay. 33 minutes, 14.7 rebounds, almost 4 assists.
I'll give you another hint
Okay.
for player A. He's been to All-Star Weekend a couple times, but he's never won anything.
Okay, so he's in like the skill competition or the dunk contest. Oh, is it Aaron Gordon?
It is Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon. Okay. I made the right choice.
Yeah.
What I find crazy is Aaron Gordon's still only 24 years old.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, some
He must
rookies
have-
coming in this year.
Or like 24 or 22.
That's crazy.
He must have reclassified or something, hopped a draft class, or not a draft class, but like a recruiting class.
He had to have. I don't know, really.
To play 6 seasons in the league and be 24. Maybe he has like a super late birthday or some shit too.
Did he not play in
That's how
college?
AD was.
No, he did. He played in Arizona.
Yeah, he played Arizona.
That's how AD was. It was like he was in the league like 7
Yeah.
years and was only 25.
Exactly. Yeah.
Giannis is one of those guys too. Giannis is insanely young.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis came out as a freshman, so.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Let me ask you guys this about Aaron Gordon. Like, where do you guys see his potential? For me, I've always been like really high on Aaron Gordon. I feel like one season he's gonna come out and just like snap. I just feel like it's not gonna happen when he's in Orlando. I don't know. What are your thoughts on him?
So when he first came out, I just saw him as a dunker. I was like, okay, a little bit less smaller Blake Griffin. Then his game started to change a little bit. He could put the ball on the floor a little bit better. Occasionally knock down a shot. Unfortunately, he's looking like a role player. He's looking like one of those energy type of guys who can make a big play and everybody feed off of that. He needs to work on getting a more consistent shot, scoring in the paint. He still has a lot of things to work on, but like we just got finished saying, he's only 24, so it's plenty of time to build up those skills. But if I had to make a guess on what I see him is ultimately a role player down the road.
Okay.
Also on the other side, he could end up like Zach LaVine, because that's how I looked at Zach LaVine, was just like a pure dunker, but then his game just elevated years on, and once he went to Chicago, then we see him now as an all-star type player. So Aaron Gordon probably need to get out of Orlando and find another team.
The thing I would say with that though is that like in Minnesota, Zach LaVine was playing behind Karl Anthony Towns and Wiggins. Aaron Gordon's kind of had the reins in Orlando, I feel like.
Well, they've tried to give it to him.
Yeah, Yeah, so I feel like a change of scenery would be good for him. I don't see him being a star anywhere. But like Mike was saying, like if he's putting up these numbers in a reduced amount of minutes, just as like a role player, maybe even coming off the bench, I don't know, depending on where he is. But yeah, I think a change of scenery would be good for him for sure. But
I would agree. Yeah, I definitely think Orlando is not a good landing spot for anyone. It's like Phoenix too. It's like those are places you just don't want to end up.
They messing up Mo Bamba's development. Come on, man.
What about Deep Book, man?
What are y'all doing?
Mo Bamba. I feel bad for Book. Get Book out of there.
Mo Bamba has a 7'10" wingspan, though, man. He should be great.
Mo Bamba, Jonathan Isaac, they did nothing with Oladipo.
Yeah, that's sad, man.
And look, and Orlando's defense, they was in the playoffs last year. They were on pace to probably make the playoffs again, but they're in like that no man's land. They're like the 8th seed. They have an all-star and Vucevic, but I mean,
send them to Seattle.
Literally, send someone to Seattle.
For real, Orlando is such like a tourist spot. Like, I've never met an Orlando Magic fan.
Oh, one of my best friends is an Orlando Magic fan. I hope he
really.
Sees yeah,
I hope he sees it.
Can I hear like what?
Just talking crap.
No, he's the only one that I know.
He was literally at my house during the finals in 2009, Magic and Lakers. I remember Derek Fisher hit one of like the biggest threes of that series, like to win a game. This dude chased me around the house like he was so mad. Like he's been a Magic fan. He's from Florida. He stayed true. So hey,
respect.
Okay. The only one I know of.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I've never. I still haven't met him in person, so to my knowledge, I've never met a Magic fan. But to end the episode off, yeah, it's kind of short, but we don't really have anything to talk about since there's no basketball. We were kind of going around earlier before we started recording, just talking about like players that have worn different jersey numbers. So to close it off, I thought this would be fun. This has been a pretty loaded number. Who is the best person to ever wear the number 34?
Oh, there's a lot of.
So we got.
Does Giannis wear 34?
Paul Pierce.
Giannis wears 34. I think Hakeem wore it too.
Charles Oakley definitely, I think, wore 34. No.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a lot of people.
There is a long list of people that have worn number 34. I'm curious. In your opinion, who is the best to ever wear it? Keep in mind, Shaq wore it too.
Yeah, but are we saying like how they played when they were wearing the number? Because
when they're wearing the number.
So I can't choose Shaq then, because where did he wear it? Like,
didn't he wear it in LA?
He wore it in LA.
Yeah.
No, I thought he was 32 in LA. What?
No, he was 32
he was definitely 34.
Miami. He was 32 in Miami.
Yeah.
When he 32 in Orlando too?
Possibly. I don't remember.
Yeah, Orlando, he definitely was.
He was definitely 34 with the Lakers though, and the Celtics. But I mean, he was not good when he played for the Celtics. So.
It's between Hakeem and Shaq.
Really? No love for Giannis?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
He ain't got no hardware to compare to those.
How long did Charles Barkley wear 34?
He wore it for a good
Sixers
time.
and the Suns, but not with the Rockets.
Well, I'm going with Hakeem.
That's a big name too.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
So you're saying Hakeem Olajuwon? Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, who'd you say?
I said it's either Hakeem or Shaq. I'm gonna go with Shaq. You know, I gotta go with the LA boy.
For love. Okay. There's no bias there, right?
Ray Allen wore it too.
You wore that in Boston and Miami, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh. What about Seattle? No.
I'm not sure about that.
He did in Seattle. Oh, that's tough. I'm gonna give it to Shaq. I think Shaq's better than Hakeem. And if he wore it in LA,
he only wore it for 5 years. In LA. Those
were some critical 5 years.
Like 5 years it was.
Man.
Hakeem had what, like 20, 15, 20?
Yeah.
Two rings to 3 in the time.
I gotta go Hakeem on this one. He has a better resume.
2 rings to 3. I mean, yeah, Hakeem is definitely the better defensive player, maybe the best defensive player all time. Crazy footwork, but no one's been as dominating as Shaq, and I'm a Laker fan, so
let's do this. Shaq. Right? Let's do this, all right? We have it split right now. Start of next week's episode, we will debate Hakeem Olajuwon versus Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh
Okay.
man, I thought you were gonna flip a coin.
No, I'm not ready for that. I mean, if we need to, we
But
do.
wait. Let's keep in mind though. Hold on. Let's get this said. Cause young Shaq got worked by Hakeem. I ain't talking about young Shaq. I'm talking about 34 Shaq.
But I
LA
mean,
Lakers Shaq.
you gotta
That's a
love
big
all of
difference.
Shaq.
Nah,
You gotta take
if-
all of Shaq.
No, we're just taking
If
him when he's
Shaq-
wearing the number. No.
Just
if
when he wore the
Shaq
number.
was 34 the whole time, I probably would have picked Shaq. But I don't like Hakeem.
Gotta go
Longevity.
Hakeem.
Yeah.
I respect the pick. I'm gonna stay with Shaq though, just because I think Lakers Shaq was like the most dominant center of all time.
You don't think Hakeem would have not bodied him, but defended him at least?
Oh, I think Hakeem would have done a good job, but I mean, he was still in the league and he didn't. So
He was a little bit older then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was like Raptors Hakeem.
Let's put prime Hakeem in there. Let's put prime Hakeem versus prime Shaq.
Okay, there it is. That's the debate next week. Let's do that.
Oh.
Okay, that's how we'll start off the episode. I'm gonna write that down right now. Prime Hakeem versus prime Shaq. This one's gonna get dirty. I feel like. Mike's smirking. Mike's ready for this one. Mike's ready. He's gonna have a Shaquille O'Neal jersey. He's gonna be ready to go next week.
Look, I'm gonna go do my due diligence, do my research, make sure I make the right choice for my franchise. All right.
You're gonna be with like a fedora. You're gonna have like a pipe, like a whole notebook with notes ready to go.
See, man, I gotta do it.
Professor, the professor is here.
This is gonna be my whole week. Nothing else to do.
Stacey, we gotta prepare, man.
I'll prepare. I'll be there.
We gotta do this. We gotta win this. We don't have the best luck with coin flips, do we, Stacey?
No, but that's all in the past. It's all in the past.
I mean,
2020's the new
Stacey was
decade.
trending up. Last few coin flips, Stacey was doing pretty well.
That's
so.
true. I think that to end the tournament, you got the last few, and I think we did one after that for some reason. I'm pretty sure you won it.
Yeah.
Stacey's trending upwards. This is Stacey's year, guys. This is Stacey's year. All right, so that's gonna do it for this week's podcast. Thank you guys for listening, watching, however you're consuming our content. Put it weirdly that way, I guess. As always, my name is Jordan. With me, I have Mike, Stacey, and Ben. Happy birthday, Stacey.
Happy birthday, brother.
Yes, sir. Happy birthday, Stacey.
And we will see you guys next week. Peace.